This is Art Television.
Coming up, State of Business, sponsored by
UHD quality video streaming, internet like a boss, SLT Mobitel Fiber.
IWS Aviation.
Meet your work and learn targets. Get 30 GB Meet Lite for just 195 rupees and 100 GB Meet Max for 490 rupees. Log on to My SLT app to activate SLT Mobitel.
A very good evening and a warm welcome to State of Business on Art Television. I'm Ashine Ali and let's have a look at the headlines first. Ministry of Finance receives over 50 requests for proposals for managing the external debt sustainability. Lanka Insurance records a pre-tax profit of 11.7 billion rupees for 2021. News in detail. The Ministry of Finance has received over 50 requests for proposals for the role of financial advisors and legal consultants for managing the external debt sustainability. This extended deadline for submission of RFPs closed on the 22nd of April. There have been 28 submissions for the role of financial advisor and 23 for legal consultant. The respective technical evaluation committees are currently studying the RFPs. The Finance Ministry previously said that the selection of successful parties will be done within 2 weeks. The scope of work of the financial advisor includes evaluation of the debt stock in maintaining sound macroeconomic fundamentals, advising the government on the strategies in managing debt and facilitation of the execution of these strategies. The advisor will need to, along with evaluating the current fiscal position and highlighting key areas to be focused on during negotiations. The advisor will also need to design a mechanism and processes to achieve economic and policy objectives in pursuing the debt management and reform and designing a mechanism to engage with the IMF to best achieve the required fiscal targets of the government. The legal consultant is expected to advise the government on strategies to manage debt and facilitate execution of such strategies in consultation with relevant stakeholders. The consultant will have to review legal and regulatory issues on debt management, while underlying key areas to be focused on in negotiations. The consultant will also prepare relevant documents to give effect to the debt management strategies, as well as negotiate and present the government's interest during meetings with creditors. The weighted average rates on the 6 months and 1 year Treasury bills were seen decreasing for the first time in 9 weeks at auctions held yesterday, while the auction was fully subscribed for the first time in 4 weeks. The decrease recorded was 81 and 27 basis points on the 6 months and 1 year maturities respectively, with weighted average yield rates of 23.96 and 24.09%. The weighted average yield rate on the market favorite 3-month bill continued to increase, recording a gain of 32 basis points to 23.53% as it continued to dominate the auction by representing 90% of the total accepted volume. The bids to offer ratio was 2.01:1. This is ahead of the primary Treasury bond auctions due today, the first following the steep monetary policy adjustment of 700 basis points. A total volume of 35 billion rupees is on offer, consisting of 2 new maturities of 1st June 2025 and 1st May 2027 for amounts of 20 billion rupees and 15 billion rupees respectively. At the 2 Treasury bond auctions conducted on the 18th of April, an amount of 13.12 billion rupees were taken only on the maturity of 15 December 2027 at a weighted average of 20.21%, while all bids on the 15th of March 2025 maturity was rejected. The total offered amount in this instance was 45 billion rupees. The secondary bond market was at a standstill yesterday, with only the very short-end maturity of 15th March 2023 changing hands at levels of 25.02% to 25.15%. In the secondary bill market, the latest 91-day bill maturity was traded at a low of 22% post-auction. The total secondary market Treasury bond or bill transacted volume for the 26th of April 2022 was 1.8 billion rupees. In money markets, the net liquidity deficit stood at 688.29 billion rupees yesterday, as an amount of 162.31 billion rupees was deposited at Central Bank's standard deposit facility rate of 13.5% against an amount of 850.6 billion rupees withdrawn from Central Bank's standard lending facility rate of 14.5%. The weighted average rates on overnight call money and repo stood at 14.5% each. The Domestic Operation Department of the Central Bank was seen injecting an amount of 60 billion rupees by way of a 22 reverse day repo auction at a weighted average rate of 22.1% value today. In forex markets, limited trades on the USD LKR cash contracts were seen at levels of 360 rupees yesterday, while overall activity remained muted. The total USD LKR traded volume for the 26th of April was $24 million. Sri Lanka Insurance records a stellar performance for the year 2021 with a pre-tax profit of 11.7 billion rupees for the year 2021. The insurer also shows strong improvement in combined gross written premium of 43.2 billion rupees, denoting of growth of 9.7%. Sri Lanka Insurance's asset base increased to 268 billion rupees and the life fund to 152 billion rupees to uphold the position as the largest and strongest insurer in the country. Although placed on a negative watch with other local insurers due to the current economic situation, Sri Lanka Insurance retained its AA Fitch rating for long-term financial stability. SLIC is the only insurer to be certified with an AA rating. SLIC also secured the most valuable general insurance brand and the most loved insurance brand of the year for the 5th consecutive year by Brand Finance, reaffirming the insurer's people-centric approach. In 2021, Sri Lanka Insurance reported a 14.1% growth in life insurance premiums, which rose to 21.9 billion rupees from 19.3 billion. Sri Lanka Insurance in 2021 surpassed its own record to declare 8.6 billion rupees as a bonus to policyholders. The cumulative life insurance bonus paid out during the past 15 years over 73.2 billion rupees. Sri Lanka Insurance General leads the local general insurance market, reporting a 5.4% premium growth, which rose to 21.2 billion rupees. Sri Lanka Insurance continues to explore avenues to provide protection through product and market development initiatives through practical and affordable insurance solutions. The strength of it is 990 branches and customer service locations, together with its 8,000 advisor network, help provide robust protection. SLIC has been taking the lead in making steady progress towards transforming its operational architecture and front-end customer interfaces to ensure increased digital integration, which the motor claim settlement process being re-engineered to facilitate fast-track and contactless claim settlements to customers. SLIC has also accelerated its digital strategy to systematically automate systems and processes with the aim of migrating to a paperless environment at all levels of the business. Payments are also moving towards digital and paperless procedures to enhance efficiency as well as to reduce cost. Stay tuned for more news right after this commercial break.
Meet your work and learn targets. Get 30 GB Meet Lite for just 195 rupees and 100 GB Meet Max for 490 rupees. Log on to my SLT app to activate. SLT Mobitel.
Sponsored by
UHD quality video streaming, internet like a boss. SLT Mobitel Fiber.
Welcome back after the break. The Ceylon Electricity Board owes a 22 billion rupee payment to renewable energy operators. This includes small hydro, wind, solar and biomass power developers. Power suppliers at a press event yesterday at the BMICH said that this has crippled the industry, with companies unable to pay the salaries of 7,000 employees. Office bearers of the respective associations emphasized that at this critical juncture, where the country is in a dire economic state, renewable energy developers may cease operations as they are unable to meet critical payment obligations. The net effect of this would not just be that the country would lose 1,250.9 megawatts of clean energy, but it will lead to an economic crisis where thermal power costing 90 rupees per unit will be needed, whereas renewable energy costs only 15.77 rupees. While exacerbating the forex crisis, servicing of the 60 billion rupees lent to the industry by banks will come to a halt. Renewable energy is the cheapest and cleanest option available. However, these payments defaults will discourage potential investors, stunting the ambition of becoming a renewable energy generating generation. CEB's current average cost for a unit of electricity delivered to consumers is estimated to be 60 rupees as of 20th of April 2022. The direct generation cost from CEB power plants varies from 154 rupees per unit at Kalanatissa power station being the highest and rupees 7.19 rupees at large hydro being the lowest. Lanka United Merchant Association and Sinhala Veeravidahana point out that the current government was informed about an economic breakdown during the COVID-19 pandemic and that it did not heed it this warning. At a media briefing held in Colombo yesterday, they suggested that the government must pivot to a production-based economy soon.
මේ කොවිඩ් අර්බුදය අවස්ථාවේදීත් අපි රජයට ඉහළ නායකත්වයේ සිට පහළ නිලධාරි මට්ටම දක්වාම අපි යෝජනාවල ඉදිරිපත් කරා අනාගත අභියෝගයක් අභිමුව අපි ඉන්නේ. එහෙමනම් මේකට වහාම ක්‍රියාත්මක වෙන්න කියලා. නමුත් රජය ඒ ගැන අපිට දැනෙන්නේ නැහැ රජය ක්‍රියා කරපු ආකාරයක් මේ අර්බුදය විසඳන්න. ඒ අර්බුදයක් විසඳනව වෙනුවට රජය දිගින් දිගටම රජයේ මැති ඇමතිවරු ඉහළ නිලධාරීන්ගේ පවා මැති ඇමතිවරු අපි දැක්කා කටමැද දොඩවනවා මිසක් මේ ජනතාවගේ විශ්වාසය දිනාගෙන මේකට විසඳුම් හොයන පාටක් පේන්න තිබුණේ නැහැ.
We cannot rely on tourism. So we know what happened. We relied tourism during that pandemic. Now still we are in the post-pandemic situation. We cannot rely the tourism. We cannot rely only the tea or the garments. So we have to go for the production economy. Without new production, we cannot sustain in the world. We cannot develop our economy. So therefore, we have to provide very good political stabilization in the country. And also, then we can concentrate about the economic development of the country. We need new energy. This country want brave, smart, visionary leaders.
The National Chamber of Exporters emphasizes the importance of introducing a proper mechanism to maximize tax revenue of the country. Tax being an instrumental objective of fiscal policy, the government of Sri Lanka mainly collects its tax revenue through Inland Revenue Department, Excise and Sri Lanka Customs. As it is necessary to have robust policies in place to help the country recover and move forward, the National Chamber of Exporters of Sri Lanka urges the government to facilitate the Inland Revenue Department in encouraging citizens to declare their wealth and exercise existing laws related to collection of tax. The NCE recommends that mechanisms must be introduced to investigate and apprehend taxpayers who maintain assets overseas. All monetary transactions within the country should be monitored. Granting of ad hoc tax holidays should end, and a comprehensive relief system to boost investment must be introduced. Earlier regulations on remitting export proceeds within 180 days has been dormant, and it is noted that statistics published by Central Bank and Sri Lanka Customs do not portray actual values due to lack of monitoring and tracking system. Regulations should be enforced to ensure foreign remittances are received through the banking system so that country's balance of payment is no longer affected. The NCE proposes that all foreign remittances receive an incentivized rate of 30%, more than the parity rate, matching the rates in the black market. The additional value to be invested is a rupee time deposit of over 12 months at a higher interest rate. Further, the additional incentive proceeds are to be allowed through a time deposit and are to be utilized for capital investments only, thereby contributing to the national GDP. The NCE states that importing any goods under open account should be further evaluated and streamlined. Commercial importers are to be registered with the Department of Imports and Exports Control and must open tax files, obtaining ATIN number highlighted in important documents and enabling monitoring by Sri Lanka Customs and the Inland Revenue Department. Stay tuned for stock updates.
Meet your work and learn targets. Get 30 GB Meet Lite for just 195 rupees and 100 GB Meet Max for 490 rupees. Log on to my SLT app to activate. SLT Mobitel.
News, views, highlights, updates and opinions. This is Wake Up With Us.
Trading at Colombo Stock Exchange ended on a positive note today. The All-Share Price Index gained 330.91 points to close at 7,611.43, and the S&P SL20 gained 147.02 points to close at 2,503.73. The turnover was 2.9 billion rupees and over 140 million shares were traded. Up next are Forex rates. And that's all news for today. See you tomorrow with State of Business at the usual time. Until then, take care and good night.
State of Business was sponsored by
UHD quality video streaming. Internet like a boss. SLT Mobitel Fiber.
IWS Aviation.